welcome to YouTube channel HealthQ, the place where my mission is to motivate you to look at the brighter side of the health. In today's video, I'm going to talk about what are the few things that as a parent of a cerebral palsy child should know about their children. It's very important to have a knowledge and understanding about these things. So what are these things? Let's have a look. Friends, my mission or my aim with making this series of videos on cerebral palsy is to help parents who are willing to help their kids from their end as well. And one thing that I've commonly seen among all the parents is they want to do something more, something extra from their end as well. They want to help their child. But what happens is they are left clueless about what they can do or else in what direction they should help their child with. And my purpose of creating this video is to help you out as in parents to do activities, tasks or else things that will help your child in right direction of development. I know as a parent you want to do something more, but it's very important that you should know at first place what's the problem that is existing, and then only it would be easy for you to give a solution. Mostly what happens is when you go to a physiotherapy center or a rehabilitation center or a developmental center for your child goes through a very good session of physiotherapy at that place or else occupational therapy at that place, and you are advised with certain exercises and activities that should be done at home. Now, parents mostly blindly follow the advice and do it, which is a good thing also. There's no harm in doing that. But if you want to do something more, something extra, something more helpful for your child from your end, you need more effort from your side. You need more understanding, more knowledge about your child's condition, and then only it would be easy for you or is beneficial for you to help your child at home. So let's first understand what are the 8 things that you should know about your child's condition or else about your child, so that you can make wiser choices and wiser decision and integrate wiser and better activities that will help your child's development. Let's have a look. So the first thing and the most foremost thing that you should know about your child who is suffering from cerebral palsy is the location of the lesion. Now, definitely there is a history of brain injury or else damage when it comes to cerebral palsy. But have you ever wondered what is the function or what is the brain damaged area? In what area of brain the damage has happened? Or else what structure of brain has been damaged? Or else whether there was some damage to brain or not? Or else there was some damage to other structures of central nervous system? And what is the function of that system? Because depending on what area or structure is damaged, based on that only you will see symptoms or else problem in your child. So if you understand what is the structure that is affected and what is the normal function of that structure, you will understand why your child is showing particular symptoms. And when you understand that, you will also then understand how with the help of activities and some tips, you can retrain your baby or else your child to cope up with those limitations. Moving to the second thing that is very important to have an understanding of is cause behind brain damage. Do you know why your child suffered from this problem? What was the reason behind it? Was it some before pre-pregnancy existing condition like high BP or else sugar, or else you underwent some sort of infection, or else it was an insult or a damage that was happened during the time of pregnancy, during the time of labor or else delivery, or else after delivery your baby suffered from some sort of viral or else bacterial infection which caused damage to the brain structures. What was the reason why it happened? Have you tried to figure it out? If not, please make sure to talk to your pediatrician. Go for those scans, those studies that will let you understand the reason behind the condition of your child. Even sometimes the condition could be genetic. So was it genetic or something else? It's important to know that. Moving to the third thing that you should know about your child's condition, and that is normal developmental milestone. Always parents try to compare their kids with the normal kids. But every development that happens in a child, be it CP child or a regular child, has a specified age. It's very important to understand what is the normal age to achieve certain level of development. When you know that, then you would be able to understand where your child has reached and where he needs to reach, at what age he needs to reach at. Hence, it's very important to have a very clear understanding about the normal developmental milestone, not only in terms of movements, but in terms of mental development, cognitive development, social development, even in fine motor activities. You should have an understanding about that. One thing that you should know is what are the different aspects of child development. What do I mean by this? Now, child not only develops physically, he should develop mentally as well. He should develop in terms of his social skills. He should develop in terms of his language skills, in terms of his expression skills. Hence, it's important what are the different aspects of a child's development that is helpful for you to understand where your child is lacking more, where your child is good at. When you understand the strength and weaknesses of your child, you can utilize the strength of your child to overcome the weaknesses. Moving to the next point that you should know about your child is the muscle tone of your child. What kind of muscle tone does your child have? Is it a completely floppy child where if you leave him, he will totally fall back, there would be no muscle contractions present or no muscle tension present? Or is he spastic kind of child, which means when you are constantly moving the hand and as you increase the speed of your speed of the hand movements, you start observing resistance. You start observing that the movement are becoming more difficult and difficult, that you have to stop it. Is it that kind of spasticity? Or the child is rigid, which is not just allowing any kind of movement? Or your child is dystonic, which shows some sort of abnormal involuntary movement patterns? It's very important to also know that, because when you know the tone that when you know the abnormal pattern of tone that is present, then only it's easy for you to determine and come up with the strategies to counteract those tones. Going to the next point that you should know about your child is the sensory pattern of your child. Now, there are many sensory systems that exist in our body. It could be our vision, our hearing, our touch sensation, our sense of balance, our sense of proprioception, our sense of taste. You should also know whether your child is well aware of these sensations. Is your child someone who lacks the proper understanding of this sensation? Is your child someone who requires more and more sensory inputs to interpret it? It's very important to understand that. Most of the time, parents don't know are their child sensory seeking or the child under responsive. Even though they must have observed in many situations, many times when I interview parents, they tell me, he doesn't respond to sound, and sometimes they say, oh, he just get activated and just prattle even in small sound. So these are all signs which help you understand whether your child is sensory seeking, lacks sensory activeness, or else is someone who is over impulsive or responsive to a sensation. It's very important to know that. Seventh thing you should know is about their psychological aspect. What are they going through? They don't understand that, and it's important for them to have an understanding. And last but not the least, the other thing that they should know about is what group of muscles are tight for the child and what group of muscles are weak for the child. When you understand that, then only you would be able to do proper stretching exercise practice at home. Many a times I've seen parents desperately wants to help their child, but they are directionless. You would stay directionless until unless you don't start from scratch. I know it is not an easy journey at all for any parent. You need to work a lot in order to help your child. But this is also an opportunity. Just imagine if you can discover something unique about your child, and if you can help your child and you can share that experience with other women or as parent out there who is also suffering from similar situation, how many lives you are going to help with, isn't it? So my intention behind this video is to help those curious parents who wants to put some extra effort from their end to help their child. And this series of videos is meant for that. So please make sure to stay tuned with me in this video series on HealthQ channel. On that note, I'll see you in another video. Thank you.